Close enough to being a hero. All right, howdy guys. We're in Ryan's big fancy 859M today. Wow, that's all I can say. Wow. I love this thing. It's a tractor built to handle weight. And that's what, you know, that's our shortcoming in Brutus, you know. That's our shortcoming in Brutus, is that our head's so heavy, the tractor can't handle the weight, you know. And then his rotate motors are in the wrist. I love that. I really like this thing. Of course, I've ran the Komatsu, our cutter bunch, and now I'm in Ryan's, and the controls are different, all three of them. Oh, I busted that son of a God. Ryan, I'm looking like a daggone fool. Daggone it. Hope I got that split stuff out of my daggone it. Get somebody else's rig and go screw it up. I get in that every once in a while when I drop something across something like a dummy. And I should have held on to it a little bit on the way down to help it keep the brakes on a little bit. I like how his accumulating arms and his gathering arms are real close together. Where Brutus's accumulating arms is all the way at the bottom of the head on the Quadco B model. I like them up close to the top on this one. What a daggone dummy, you tater. Guys, I knew better than that. What a daggone dummy. Jared, come over here, buddy. cut them walnut trees. There's some big walnut down there to cut, and I don't want to cut them. I'm gonna make Ryan cut them. I'll cut everything but them. That walnut looks a little, yeah, he's ready to go. It really handles this head's a 28, I believe. It really handles this head well. Gotta be careful cutting this walnut. You can't have one to fall over backwards on you and split. You don't want to split one of these walnuts. Now we'll go down nice and easy with you. There, that's how you cut a walnut with one of these. Right there. Very carefully. Rotates, I can't tell what, after running that Komatsu, I don't know which is right or which is wrong, which button's which. But this is backwards from, I believe, the Komatsu, or else this is like the Komatsu I was running, and it's backwards from Brutus. I don't know. But I got myself, from running that Komatsu, I got myself all screwed up on the rotate. And Ryan adjusts his X-Y axis on his tilt. He runs it like an excavator. And Brutus, our cutter's set up with shovel controls. So you scoop it like a wheel loader. You reach back on your joystick to scoop. Where Ryan had his set up like an excavator. Just cut this freaking elm out of the way. Yeah, this is like the Komatsu. It's set up backwards in Brutus. That's how it is. Yeah, I just now caught that. But I think the road, no, it's backwards in Brutus. I can't tell anymore. I ran so many just different now, I can't tell what's right or what I'm used to, what I'm not used to now. I think I'm just all screwed up now. Inch head. It's an FR27. It says it on the side there. I gotta be careful. I'm gonna tear fibers on this. I better get over a little closer to the steel teeth. I hate steel teeth with a passion. What gets these loggers in these steel teeth are way cheaper, but they end up costing you all day long. Now usually you can keep your head moving around and stuff, doing different things. You're topping while your head's charging, and then when your head's charged, you reach over and zap at a tree. But when you got steel teeth, you're stopped all the time waiting on the blade. With carbides, you can keep that rhythm going. You can keep in motion, you know. Wanted when you cut into a tree to be able to hit that butt plate. If you can't saw all the way in and hit the butt plate, it's time to do something about your teeth. But this thing is very smooth and strong. That white oak over. I messed that one up. And I broke the daggone white oak over. Whoop, I'm taking elm over with it. See, now when you knock one over, if you compass it off, you didn't kill the root system, you just killed the stem. Ideal, but it is a contingency plan. This rotate down. It's so different. Every time I get confident, then I go in, I'm rotating the wrong direction. Crucial as that is, when you start in, your tree starts to tip, you got a split second to decide left or right. You know what I mean? You hit the wrong way right off the bat, then your tree's committed to the wrong path. You got like a split second to decide which way you're going, and then you kind of follow it on down into that hole. But the way I'm going now, I keep hitting the wrong button first. Then I throw the tree right in the wrong hole. See, I didn't even know there. Wrong hole. Push him off the stump. There you go. Yeah, this rotates the same as that Komatsu. It's backwards from Brutus. That's why I keep screwing it up.
Now I got on the edge of the field here, and I'm doing there's some dead trees. This woods might have been let go just a few years too long. Ron didn't want me to. I actually cut a couple walnuts. I probably shouldn't have cut. Ron was wanting to save some of them walnuts. There's a couple that's larger trees that I thought needed to go, but Ron's like, well, we need to leave some for aesthetics, and then walnuts can grow some more and be good later. But there was a few walnuts that had, rotten centers because they just stood too long. But I think I grabbed two of them I probably shouldn't have grabbed. I don't know. This is not my job. It's not my, Ron's doing the thing with the landowner here, and I'm kind of imposing myself here. So I kind of cut, I think, 2 walnut trees. I think I shouldn't have cut for the situation. But now these black oaks, I'm cut. We're kind of cleaning up the woods. This is some trashy stuff coming out of here. The red oak's hot. It's been sun pounded a bit, and it's old and it's dying. It's a dead tree. That's why they're broke at hell or dead. You see how them tops are just floppy because they ain't got no life to them. But we're cleaning some of this up, and there's a bunch of cherry with red rot in here. That cherry got cooked a bit too. Just woods that needs cleaned up. And then the corner I worked on, now Ron was being nice and said, I got it thin. I got it cut pretty hard. And Ryan's kind of select cutting and dancing around more, and he's like, well, it's no big deal. That looked like it needed to go. And it did. It's full of cherry and dead black oak, but, and here's my section, cut out harder, and Ryan's section was more skipped along and more aesthetically pleasing, and I'm like, oh man, I hope I didn't screw up this corner. Ron says, well, it's not screwed up or nothing like that, but he's probably just being nice to not hurt my feelings. I don't know. I think I kind of cut it a little too hard, but it needed cut hard. But I don't, you don't want it at the same time you cut something hard like that. You don't want to, freak the landowner out or make him think, daggone, why are you beating up on my woods so hard? Well, daggone, it's time. This spot's hot. You can tell it's been hot. It's time to go. You got your dead black oaks growing in it. You got cherry full of red rot, and even the walnuts are starting to get rotten in the centers. It's just time. But it ain't aesthetically pleasing when you go about it like that, what needs done, with a harsh reality of it, and you're like, daggone, you don't wear out your welcome, because you are invited on somebody's, pride property here, and you don't want to daggone, overstep your, especially me, because, Ron's used to this stuff, as far as share logging and stuff like that, and share logging is a different type of logging than what we usually do, so it takes a different, the landowner's playing a bigger part in share logging than I'm used to. Well, what we're used to is you bid it out. They mark the trees, you bid it out, and what you bought, you get in there and you try to do a little bit for the property while you're in there, make it nice if you can. But once they mark the trees and put them up for sale, well, that's the trees. And this is a little different. The landowner plays a bigger role in this type of cutting than what they do in the normal, while we're there on our normal type of cutting with our crew. So it's a little different scenario when you're like, man, I need to be approaching with more caution than I am making these bold moves like this. And the tracks, I'm making deep tracks. This ground's soft, and I'm moving around too much with Ryan's cutter here and doing some wiggle cuts and stuff like that with my tracks I shouldn't be making. And I should be throwing trash down and crushing my trash in some of these places to keep my caterpillar tracks out of the ground. That's just rookie mistake, not used to this cutter, and things of that nature. That's mistakes that shouldn't be made. A lot of this little trash, these little beech and little hackberries and stuff that we're knocking out here, I should throw them down and run on them, instead of running on the bare dirt like I'm doing. But it's the last few trees. I'm trying to get them out and done, but But yeah, I'm kind of making a mistake there. I made some chewed up spots on this landowner's property here when I was on Ryan's cutter that I shouldn't have made. Ryan will come in and fix them with a dozer and stuff, back drag them and fluff them up with the blade, but I'm making Ryan work he shouldn't have to do if I was doing the cutting, if I was planning my moves out with the cutter properly. And you can take your head and swipe it around and smooth some of these fluff spots up, so when the landowner comes back and checks on it, he don't see fluffed up ground, because it looks bad. It looks bad on the, for the logger, on the logger and stuff. So them some mistakes I'm making that I shouldn't be making. But this is some old dead stuff now. They've stood a little too long. And this is a nice field out here, outside the woods here. And this field, we're pushing the woods line back a little bit to give the farmer here, when he's farming, a little bit more productive crop ground there, to where the trees ain't taking sunlight out and then sucking moisture out of the outside rows of a crop, So that's kind of the thing you do to help the farmer out and stuff like that, and help the property be productive while you're there, type of stuff. And other than that, I keep struggling with these steel teeth, but I will say one thing: this thing charges plenty good, so it's the steel teeth isn't killing it. It's really slowing it down, but it isn't killing it, And this machine handles weight like a dream. I just can't get over how balanced and good this thing feels. What a machine. And the soft touch, it's got a soft touch with all this strength too. To be this strong and still have such a soft touch, to me, is amazing. And yes, one last thing I was supposed to do. Ryan wanted me to make sure, he said, I'll let you record this thing, but he said, I want you to make daggone sure you say something about Tom. Tom was the man, kind of helped Ryan get into this thing, financially and stuff like that. And Ryan, of course, Ryan feels like I did when I was cutting. Mom and Dad helped me with our cutter. Mom and Dad got me in a cutter of ours, and I feel like Ryan, you owe your life to him, because to do this, to cut timber all the time, especially if you're trying to run a logging company, you will end up getting yourself hurt really bad, or even worse, and of course Ryan just, he's just beside himself, and he's like, you got to say something. If you're going to record it, he said, you got to say something about Tom. He said he was selfless and done this for me, and I'm like, and it is great. It is great, but I want Ryan to understand too that daggone Ryan's a good person, and good things happen to good people that helps others and things like that, and Tom was like, I want to get you up off the ground, and it's just nice to have people to take care of. It's nice to have people to take care of other people, you know what I mean? And a lot of times you'll feel like you're on your own and you're out here struggling and stuff like that, and somebody like Ryan, he's never on his own, because he includes everybody into what he's doing. To get to be a part of his life and everything, and he's open, and then it makes other people be open when they're around him, it's a wonderful situation. And when I started getting into this, buying logs and stuff like that, and getting to dealing with other logging companies and stuff, it got to expose me to all these wonderful people that I never would have met any other way, Well, I met them all, but as far as getting to know them and getting to be a part of their stuff and what they're doing, and getting to be closer friends with them, things of that nature. So, it was just, Ryan's all humbled by this, and I'm like, I'm humbled too. The fact that I get to be a part of these guys' life and stuff, and get to, It's wonderful. And then, so anyway, I just wanted to do the kudos for Tom, because that was, you know, Ryan was like, if you don't say something about Tom and what he did to help me get into this thing, he said, I don't feel right, you know, doing this stuff unless, you know, Tom gets his proper kudos back, you know, which is fantastic. And thanks, Tom, on my behalf for getting Ryan up off the ground and giving him a chance, you know, to, because I've seen too many. It don't matter how much you got going or how good a logger you are, man, your time eventually runs out if you're slinging chainsaw. It's just all there is to it. So Mommy come down here while I'm editing this, and she started picking on me. So I turned the recording on, and this is what we come up with. So, Mom, what do you think this cutter there, Mom, Big 10-4? You gonna do some logger talk there? Come on.
I think it's got real pretty colors. I like the yellow and the green.
Wow.
It's nice.
Wow.
It's all on the wrist.
It's
Think of the wrist. That's what I've learned. Makes sense.
Wow.